Let's try. Didn't seem to. Still didn't.
모두의 wannabe는 많은 내 연인이지 Losing complexity.
Buenos nachos, amigos, and welcome to another fantastic episode of Hallyujuku, your portal into the world of East Asian pop culture and
damn right
resemblance to lawnmower equipment. But we're not really going to get into that. We're here to talk about East Asian pop culture purely. I'm Petey Ravy, man with no plan. Here with me, as always, is my tag team partner in all this, Brandon Cooper, aka King Kaz. How you doing, Kaz?
I'm doing well. I'd be doing better if YouTube would stop doing the thing I don't want it to do. Fucking piece of shit. All right, I'm good. It's been a lovely week. A lot of good releases have been coming out in this past month. We got a lot of good songs to talk about.
Yeah, we got a lot to enjoy and partake in this week in particular. And we've got things to look forward to as well. So it's a good time for releases in the world of East Asian pop culture, I'd like to say, and K-pop in particular. Like we start off every episode talking about what's new, what's caught our attention since we've last gathered. Kaz, what's new with you?
So new with me, or I should say in the continuing saga that will continue for the next couple of weeks, is more Loco. Like I said, the boy has been doing it big, been doing it good. So this is his song called Brighten Your Night. And it is just a really good, just smooth ass. I already have it open. Why am I opening it again? Track. He does a little bit of everything in this track, as he kind of does in all his tracks, but I think this one is kind of more chill than the other two we featured last week, even though Da 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 is a rather chill track. But I just mean you just kind of put it on and mellow the fuck out to this track is what you do with this one. And I love the video too. It's just kind of simple, but it has some complexity to it. Love the bright colors, and just Loco's just a fun, cool guy.
Yeah. It's nice visuals, just straightforward. It's just him in a taxi. I think is there a cameo? Wait, was that Black Nut for a moment there? I might have been. But I love the cameos. Is there cameos? I think they're just people.
It's probably, I don't know. I didn't look into it.
I haven't paid. I look at all I know is I thought I saw Black Nut. But yeah, it's a cool track. It's a cool, chill hip hop track. It's right in there with I think what one of the main things that Loco does well, which is these really cool, chill hip hop tracks. And yeah, it was a cool beat, and it can groove to it.
Yeah, there's I don't know. It's just a really like I said, this is a really interesting thing, right? Like, he's just been dropping video after video, like, and they're all musically, all the songs have just been really good. So it just has me super excited to just kind of keep hearing more, right? And just keep seeing more. But like, man, there's a lot of content just being put out in such a short period of time. And I don't know. I'm enjoying the fuck out of it. And I think everybody else should too.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I'm just not enjoying him randomly getting off of the wheel and jumping into the back of the car. I know you're thirsty.
Self-driving cars, man. Self-driving cars.
Self-driving.
It's
taxi.
the future we're heading for. Yeah.
Look, we're heading to the future of self-driving Ubers. But you're still gonna have to. You're gonna still be stuck with the guy that sits in the driver's seat and making dumb small talk with you. Like, this is self-driving. I don't need you. Yeah, cool stuff.
Yeah. All right. So on to the boy bands for this week. Actually, I should just say for this month or last month. So these are two tracks I kind of skipped over, but were really, really good ones, and I kind of wanted to go back and talk about them and kind of have a good moment with them. So one of them is 17. The boys from 17 was a song called "Don't Wanna Cry," and I don't know, dude. This track is just really, really good. It's just so good, and there's just a lot of good choreography in here as well. And I melt over good choreo. So the boys from 17 fucking killing it on this track, like so clean.
Yeah, and it works really well. I was worried that it was the thing that like this song like made me think it was going to be like a really like plaintive ballad thing. But then kind of surprises you with the high tempo and like the super intense dancing and like and it works really well. I know like randomly I was at work and I was covering in a different department where I have access to a sound system that I could just kind of play music on. And I was like playing the K-Party dance mix on Spotify, and this song came up, and I wasn't familiar with it because I think I hadn't gotten around to checking it out, and then like it just started going. I was like, yeah, and I was just kind of like bopping to it, and yeah, it was a cool track. It has a cool energy too.
Yeah, it has a really, really, really interesting energy to it that I really, really enjoy. And I just think it's super good. Like, and 17 is one of those groups I've been enjoying more and more. And I think like a lot of groups have just been doing really, really well with like kind of their musical composition lately. Cause like a lot of the boy groups, I've just been finding myself listening to them more and more again than I was maybe a few months ago. And they've just been putting out bangers just as a, collective. Like boy groups have just been doing it. And it's just some good shit out there right now. And fucking 17, like I said, there's this track, the fucking dancing in this, like, is just so good. Like, I'm gonna have to go watch the performance video for this because like there's some acrobatics in here, and there's just some good, like, clean, tight lines that I'm just super surprised about. But yeah.
I will say one thing. I love one of the best things about I think K-pop in general, and especially with that ones that dedicated to international fans, is if you're not familiar with who's who and what's going on, you can usually scroll down to the comments and somebody will kindly offer you help along with timestamps to help you identify members. So shout out to Wingyan Chan for giving a nice little summary for people who aren't familiar with 17 and their different units and helping people identify. So shout out to that person for doing yeoman's work right there. Great stuff. But yeah, Kat.
Yeah. All right. So another group that I sometimes find myself surprised by, I should say, I guess. Yeah. Cause look, all right, I'm gonna put this out there. I like Monster X, but I don't like Monster X. Okay, like I like the personalities. Yeah, I like the personalities in them, but they've made some pretty weird choices in song compositions for me. So, but this one, which came out in kind of mid-March, Beautiful, was. And I could have swore I featured it on the show before, but I didn't see it in our doc. So whatever. If I did, sorry. But it's a really, 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 really good track. That I don't know. I just really like everything about this, and it didn't remind me of Monster X, which was the thing, right? It just was like, didn't seem like a Monster X track to me. It just seemed like I don't know, something else. From a different group, so
I may have been able to locate that you talked about it on episode 136.
All right, we'll see. There we go. But good enough to bring back. I don't give a fuck.
Yes.
It happens sometimes.
Still, yeah, it's still a fantastic song. It's still really
Look, it was
well
this or
made.
more loco people, which you're still going to get more loco. Understand? I'm going to bring even more loco. But yeah. So, like I said, I'm going to probably end up saying shit I said before, which is like, this track is just, I don't know, it just doesn't remind me of Monster X in any way, shape, or form. And that's kind of a good thing and a bad thing all at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah. I think Monster X hasn't always been perfect. Or they've had their highs and their lows. That's what I think with me especially. They have some good tracks. I think a good track or two. I don't know if I can't think of like ones that I'm like, yo, that one is like my jam. In particular, which is a little bit disappointing, especially considering how tightly we watched their formation on the show.
Yeah.
But I'm looking forward to them transforming into something, into the, you know, into something that could give consistent quality stuff. We'll have to see.
Yeah, I think they're kind of due for a power up, if you know what I mean, right? Like they're kind of due to kind of maybe just move into a transition where they're doing more with what they're putting out.
Yeah. Yeah. Good luck to all of them. Yeah. Now to what I've got going on. To what's new with me, what's caught my attention in the recent times. First of all, gonna bring in the kind of the melancholy. So last week we talked about how the disbandment of Sistar, one of the kind of the standard girl groups out there, one of the pinnacle premier girl groups that have been out there throughout their span. The digital queens, the queens of the hot summer jams. Sistar, now disbanding, kind of going into their next phases of their careers. They decided, that they were given an opportunity to kind of have a last hurrah track. And they all participated. I believe that this is a track that they all participated in the writing of, in the composition. I believe, at the very least, the writing of. I believe Yoden was the primary person in the composition. But yeah, Lonely. And it's a bittersweet goodbye track and video. It has a lot more tempo than you would imagine. It's not a completely mopey ballad.
Yeah.
It has more of a, it's been said multiple times, it has more of a bittersweet feeling. Where it's kind of celebrating what was there and lamenting that its time is passing. The video is really nice. It plays off of that kind of the loneliness, and then escaping the loneliness, but while being with each other. And then it's just a matter of a lot of it's just the girls being silly while vacationing and having fun. And yeah, there's a lot of good imagery to it. Like somebody pointed out, some of the better imagery is how they point out how they're in this long, lonely hallway with each other because there's this lonely, empty space, but it's fine because they've got each other. Yeah, it's a nice send off. I think so far Starship has handled this well. A lot better than other companies that have had disbanding girl groups or groups in general have. Yeah, I think overall it's a good track. I don't know if I'm gonna be listening. I don't know if it's gonna be on constant rotation on my playlist, but I think it's a very fitting track for commemorating what the career that was Sistar.
Yeah,
what do you
and it's
think?
I really like the song. I think the song is really, 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 really well done, and I like the video too. The video is super fun. Like, it's kind of how you want to go out. Like, you want to go out on good, you know. Like, and this is just a really fun video of them, like, just being with each other and having fun, and it's about them, right? And there's literally besides of people in the background, there's no one else in this video but them, right? And I kind of think that's the way it should be to a certain extent, especially on the go out.
Yeah, it's definitely not. It's not freaking top crying in a desert. Or GD. What was that? Like the big man. It was like GD like climbing. What was it? I think I remember him climbing some stairs or something, and like there was like a crowd of people. God, I gotta watch that super depressing video they put out at the end there. This is a little bit more human, a little bit more fun, a little less up your own ass. And it's fantastic. And we shall miss Sistar in the way that they were, but they will continue moving forward, doing awesome things.
Yeah, like there's just like really like I really kind of feel like this is kind of a perfect kind of send out video because it literally is just all about them, right? And like that's kind of the great way for it to be. And it's all about them just kind of like you said, it's all about them being together and this sense of separation as well. Like, and there's just really cute moments about that. Like, I don't know. It's just it actually kind of gets me and makes me sad that there's not going to be any more Sistar at this point, right? Like,
no more hot sober jams. Summer is not the same anymore, man. Summer in K-pop's just not the same anymore. It'll hit you in the feels. Yeah. Farewell, Sistar. We love you. Yeah. Moving on. To a couple more tracks. Nothing else major, but a couple more cool tracks. Sudan, who is an artist that has been, I'm sure I've talked about before. In particular. She's frequently been a collaborator with Primary, working on, appearing on his albums, and has worked with other artists as well as a vocalist, and had been around for a while. And she came back with a new mini album. This time, kind of the primary single, which is a collaboration with Dean, well, like a featuring from Dean, called 1 + 1 = 0, or Il plus il equals young. And it's a fun, cool little chill track. Her voice is really nice in it. It's a fun song. I like the kind of the themes of it, of like how, kind of you lose, kind of lamenting losing your youth to work. And it's a fun, also the title is a fun play on like words, because il, il as in the number one, is also the word for work. So work plus work equals nothing. And then young, the word for zero, young. She kind of like plays off of that. And it's a nice little fun wordplay. And I liked it. It's a fun little cute track. What do you think, Kaz?
No, I agree. It's a fun track. Like with the, like you said, it has a very interesting message, right? Because the title is a very play on words, and then the video and the song kind of go through these like wanting to be young and experiencing that. But you understand that you have to kind of go into adulthood, but like why does it have to be such a fucking drag?
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah, and it works really well, and I liked Dean's featuring on it. I always like Dean's voice.
Dean's voice is just so amazing. Yeah. It's so fucking smooth. Like it's just, it works so well in so many tracks. Like, which is why he gets featured so much.
Yeah. Yeah, and like so speaking of Dean, I was gonna also talk about Dean's collaboration with Sid from. I guess I'm not familiar with the group. People can dislike me for that. Whatever. The internet, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not familiar with them. But they're uber popular, I guess. And I'm not saying that to. I'm not. This isn't a bit. I'm like I'm the too cool for and mainstream radio guy. I'm gonna play up that thing. I'm genuinely not familiar. But the collaboration that we were gonna talk about called Love. It was a cool track. They had a video for it. I would love to show you clips of it, but it got taken down because of copyright strikes from Dean's YouTube. And I know this is Dean's YouTube because all of his other music videos are on it.
Yeah. Which is funny because I was going to feature this track like last week, and then I decided to do a bunch of Loco stuff, and I was like, I don't want to do Loco and Dean. I guess I'll save this. And then I saw that you had it, so I was like, all right, there we go.
And it's like, yeah.
So
go seek it out because it's actually a really cool track, and it's a fun, chill. Yeah. Like I like their voices, both Dean's and Sid's, and it works well together. And it was funny. It was fun and cool and catchy. And you had thoughts as well, Kaz.
Yeah, no, I really enjoyed the track. Like, it was very surprising because, like, I as you said, I'm not familiar with a lot of other things, so it was a collaboration that I didn't know where it came from. And luckily enough for us, we know younger people, and they were just like, oh no, this person from this group, and that group is super cool, and like kind of gave me a little intro into what some of that was. Yeah, it was super interesting, and I really like it, and I yeah.
Go seek it out. Go find it. It's on Apple Music. You can go check it out. I might link the Apple Music or something like that. But yeah, it was a cool track. Last on my list is a track that just kind of caught my attention. One of the latest station tracks. It just kind of like caught me off guard. SM Station. This is Kim Se Hwang and Kim Jung Mo, pair of guitarists, special collaboration. Kim Se Hwang is a legendary guitarist, Kim Se Hwang, and the genius guitarist of Trax, Kim Jung Mo. And they got together and basically made an anime theme.
Yeah, it is very, 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 very like giant robot anime themey, and like the video just plays into it so much.
Yeah, like I want to watch this anime. Like even with this art style, like especially this art style, like I want to watch an anime that has this song. This song is its theme song, and it has this like art style. Like, I like. What anime would this be?
I have no idea, dude. Because anime music varies so much.
And just off of this, like, it would be like a very odd slice of life. But
it could be. You never know. You never know.
You never know. But yeah, overall, at the end of it, it's two very talented guitarists. So you're gonna get the riffing. You get the meedlies and the wheedlies and the meedly doos. And it all really works and is all really fun. I don't know. What did you think, Kaz?
Like I said, it's super anime, and it just put me in that mindset of like thinking about anime and wanting to watch anime, because like it just like the very first half of this is like super anime themey, and then it kind of gets more rocky, kind of in itself, which is fine. Like I think it's a good progression, but like it still has like this kind of just like anime theme in the beginning. Then it kind of has like that middle part is kind of like a battle that happens, and then that like end is kind of like the end theme, to like kind of chill, mellow. Like, all right, now we need to come down after all that excitement. Like, so it's very interesting.
Yeah, it was very interesting. Yeah, go check it out. I like that. We're getting a nice variety from SM Station, and it's not just all coffee shop ballads.
Yeah.
Just like it was last year. I think last year there was a lot of coffee shop ballads, but we did get some nice variety in there, and I like that we're getting some variety in here as well.
I think that's kind of going to be the best thing if they kind of keep that up, right?
Yeah, so it could appeal to many demos and get them downloads, because it's all about them digital streaming and downloads. But yeah, check that out. That brings us to the end of another fantastic set of new music. What? That brings us to the end of what's new, what's going on, what's caught our attention. We're going to transition over to our headlines. Some heavy topics to talk about in our headlines. So join us over there now, won't you? Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the headline segment here on Hallyujuku. Some topics. So I think it's just the biggest headline that has been the thing that's happened in the last few days, and just the unavoidable thing is what's been going on with Top. So let's just start from the beginning of all of it. Big Bang's Top smoked weed, got ratted out, claimed e-cig plus YG statement. So what happened was, so Big Bang's Top tested positive for marijuana use back in October 2016, according to the police, and they have already forwarded the case to the prosecutor's office. According to the Seoul Metropolitan Police Agency, a trichoscopy resulted in a positive reaction, indicating that Top had smoked marijuana. It was revealed that he had used marijuana last October, but it is not yet clear whether he was a continuous user of the drug. The police has forwarded the case to the public prosecutor's office, accusing of Top of violating illegal drug laws. Smoking weed is, and it goes into whatever you think of smoking weed, it is kind of illegal, and he is a public figure. I love this. More importantly, this is not going to make YG Entertainment's reputation as a druggie central any better. And then there was updates. He got ratted out by somebody else, and they had claimed something about involving an e-cig, but the female that he smoked with confessed that they had been using marijuana. And Top even admitted. So Top admitted to smoking weed, and he got expelled from military police. Must re-enlist. So let's talk about this first part.
Mm-hmm.
It's both. I don't think either one of us. Neither one of us are really. We don't partake in the marijuana.
I mean, speak for yourself, Steve. No,
we don't judge.
Yeah, no, I don't necessarily judge anyone for it, and it's kind of always an odd situation. I always kind of tend to say you kind of need to favor the laws that are around you when you want to participate in those kind of things. So you kind of have to be careful about how you go about that stuff. So,
especially if you plan on going into police work, like because he was planning on enlisting. He was planning on enlisting as soon as like the middle of last year, and planning on, of course, getting the cushy gig at the Gangnam police station. That the Gangnam police gig. which everybody goes for. All the this is the entertainment district. Yeah, it goes back to the same sentiment that a lot of people had with I'm gonna pull with Rick Williams. I think there's a football player more recent that also had the issue where they just kind of kept going back to it. It's one of those things where it's like I don't judge you for smoking weed, but you kind of dumb for breaking the law, especially when you're A, a public figure, and B, going into military life and into the police force.
Mm-hmm.
Especially like in a country that's super strict on drugs like they are. So you have to be aware of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, you kind of so when you look at all of this, right? When you look at all these stories, right? You kind of break it down into the kind of normal ball downhill, right? You get caught. That happens. Instantly, you deny. Because I don't think there's a person in the world. I don't think, or I should say, there are very few humans that exist in this realm and in this universe who get caught in something and automatically own up to it, right? Mm-hmm. Like, even at my fucking smartest moments in the world where I know taking the blame is better than the lie, I'm still in my life gone for the lie, right? Because you just don't want the consequence, no matter how minor it may be, and especially if it's major, right? Like, especially if it's going to be a major thing, you try to spin as much as you fucking can.
Yeah.
So that's another thing. I don't blame him for that, right? I just can't, because I can understand from that perspective why you do that. And it always is going to get harder from there, no matter what. Yeah. Like, you just, from that point on, because one, you got caught. Now you got caught lying too. Like, yeah. And it just always makes the situation harder. And it always seems like, in hindsight, telling the truth would have been better. But I always feel like there's just nothing you can do in those situations.
Honestly, no. What's always, honestly, in legal situations, what's best is to say nothing until proceedings, and then once they have the evidence, and if they prosecute you and they convict you, cool. Honestly, is the best virtue, but it is at your behest to say nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Yeah, that's
just be quiet.
That's
neither confirm nor deny. My lawyer says I should shut up. Things like that. Yeah, lawyer up no matter what. No. You know that when you hear on cop shows that sentence you hear all the time. It's true. You do have the right to remain silent. I don't know how it is in Korea. I don't know if they have Miranda. I don't know if it is exactly that way. But I presume I think I've heard to say similar things on cop shows there, where they have the right to remain silent. But I know here, so the safest answer is just say nothing. But yeah. So the next step of the saga, which has been like the scary thing today. So we were going to record yesterday, and I would imagine yesterday would have been a kind of a sillier story about pot and stuff like that. Then it turned a little scarier this morning, which I think in retrospect it was better for us because now we didn't feel weird about fucking making fun of Top for all this, and then turned into a serious thing. Top in ICU after allegedly after overdose. Police deny he's conscious, but mom says he is. Top, currently embroiled in the marijuana scandal for which he most recently enlists, has now been rushed to the hospital after he was found unconscious. Top is currently still unconscious. Has been moved to the intensive care unit. YG Entertainment has confirmed that the hospitalization is drug overdose. That his mother is by his side. Police say there were updates. Police say it was muscle relaxant, and they believe it's not a serious situation. News report though say that he's in the ICU. His life is not in danger. It says he's retaining consciousness. But
there's a lot of back and forth. Like, and it's a lot to go through in this article. Like, and I don't know how much of that we want to go through, but like, kind of the points are the media says one thing, then people close to Top say another thing. Then in that, the media kind of backs off a little bit because it gets weird, right? So then now the police say one thing that kind of agree with what the media is saying, but now are conflicting with what the other reports are saying. But then in the end,
fine, but he's not fine.
Yeah. But then in the end, YG says basically nothing, and then Top's mom, who I kind of, if anyone, want to take the most credence from, says that everything is not fine. You know, so it becomes a really touchy situation, and it becomes really scary, I think.
Just in general, and there's been a lot of talk back and forth. And then it also goes back into how unreliable the Korean media is so many times, and sometimes you have to end up relying on company releases, and that's like the worst because obviously that's going to be spun to hell. I don't know. The thing is it's just scary. It was just a scary waking up, reading, going on Reddit and our K-pop and go, Top found unconscious in room, and like me going as a wrestling fan, like as a wrestling fan, how many times have I heard that headline?
Mm-hmm.
And it'd be a lot worse, you know.
Yeah.
Like we've heard that, and that's so scary.
It is,
yeah, and whether it be accidental, not accidental, drugs in the moment, drugs in the past, you know, there's so many different like ways that it could be, that it could go. Just from hearing that headline, that piece of headline, it's so scary. So like, it's definitely irresponsible to speculate, because we don't know what's going on. We can only just wish Top the best, and you know, hope for the best for everyone involved, especially for his family. And him,
just him in general, like, you know, like, because this is gonna, we know
he's an emotional person, and
but even like, even outside of that, like, we know how kind of vulturistic the Korean media can be sometimes, right? Like, and depending on how this situation goes, it could not go well, you know, no matter what. The Korean media cannot be the most favorable sometimes.
Yeah. I guess to bring it out of the sadness, I did want to include this, the kind of like discovering of his I guess his weed friend, his fellow,
his connect.
Top supposed weed pal Han So-hee. You fucking bitches. Yes, I hugged and kissed your oppas. Top's weed partner that was mentioned in the stories about this mess is reportedly Han So-hee, a former Jellyfish Entertainment trainee. But that's not what's important. No, what's important that she once commented this to I guess fans that were like going after She once commented, "You fucking bitches, yes, I hugged and kissed your oppas. You can't do anything about it, right? Losers." Which is kind of amazing. That she's just like straight up like, I don't know, like, I love the zero fucks given. It's great to kind of see as if you're a fan of Schadenfreude and drama, which is somebody who foments drama. I will say, reading about her history on repeatedly going through different agencies and then leaving shortly, makes one like she was supposedly in line to debut with G Friend, and then she left before that happened. And I think she auditioned for JYP, and then like, but I don't know. So nobody knows what happened. If like she was signed and then left, or if she wasn't signed, or she rejected. It's the impression I get is that she seems to be K-pop locker room cancer. Like she's like Milton Bradley. She's like Latrell Sprewell. Like jumping from team to team, not getting along with nobody. So it was just a hilarious observation. I don't know. Did you enjoy this bit of,
I mean, I just thought it was silly, right? And these are kind of the things I'm talking about, right? Where now the Korean media is gonna fucking dig, right? They're just gonna they're gonna start going out and looking and fucking trying to scratch at the surface of everything they can fucking find.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. Which is kind of ridiculous. But yeah. At the end of the day, we just wish the best for Top.
Yeah.
Wish the best for me. Damn, you heard that too, right?
Yeah, I did.
Whoa, that was ominous. Like, bro. Okay. Let's get this going. So before everything dies around me.
All right.
Before the apocalypse happens. All right. Next up, this is interesting.
Talking about some moves that's happening.
Moves, some signings, and kind of this is kind of hilarious in a way, like kind of like a nice, almost a heel turn or face turn. I don't know if you want to look at it, but this is ultimate swerve. G.Soul leaves JYP, signs with J Park and Cha Cha Malone's new label Higher Music. Leaves JYP to sign with J Park.
Yep.
Ultimate swerve right there.
Let's kind of break this down, right? We've talked about in the past how all right, so let's talk about this in steps. I'm trying to figure out the best way to put this, right? So J Park is kind of the ultimate example of doing it better on your own than doing it better in the system, right? Because a lot of people go through the system and then come out of the other side and then make a great name for themselves. But he kind of left in the middle, right? He kind of hopped out in the middle and was like, I think I can find a better way to do this myself. And he took that little bit of
hopped
game
out, but we don't know.
Right.
Might have been hopped out. We don't know.
Because let's put a shine on this that not everybody might understand, right? So J Park used to be in 2PM, right? Like, and 2PM is a very popular group, still is.
Yeah.
But he kind of took that moment to leave and do his own thing, and he kind of, he built upon, making really good tracks, doing all this kind of shit, being the internet's darling, J Park. Crafts AOMG,
our favorite Korean fuckboy.
Has a hand in crafting what becomes AOMG, which just has artists after artists after artists that are just amazing, right? And just is kind of taking that industry by storm by kind of being this kind of self-made dude in a sense, right? So then to now have what is kind of a really, really, really promising solo prospect in G.Soul, like who we featured on the show a couple of times. To have them then also go from JYP to one of your new labels and one of these things that you're crafting to help people show that they're good is like, it's awesome, right? And now we're probably going to get more G.Soul tracks, like consistently than we did before, right? Because you got to kind of play the system when you're in Korean entertainment, right? When you're in the YGs and you're in the JYPs and you're in the Starships and you're in all these other labels, right? You kind of got to play along with the system and go along with the flow, right? Let's even take Loco for example, right? Do you think a JYP or a YG would fucking let Loco put out 4 videos in a month, almost in a span of 3 weeks? No. You fucking stupid. No.
I mean, they'll they'll let Day 6 put out a video a month, but that's like 2 videos. But even
that's 1 to 2 videos a month, right? Like those Loco tracks came out. I think 2 of them came out in the same week. So it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be cool. It's gonna be cool to see how because Higher Music is supposed to be kind of like it's supposed to be an internet, and they would describe it as their international label, which brags out an artist roster of artists from mainly Seoul and Seattle. That was close. Moonrock, I love you guys, but not the best sentence there. Did J Park sign himself to his own label?
J Park, Cha-Cha themselves, PH1, Sick K, producing team Groovy Room. So I think it's mainly like this. I guess AOMG is in Korea, and I guess Higher Music is international. I don't know. It's just like a different endeavor. But it's crazy. If you want to have some perspective on G.Soul's like journey, they put it right there close to the end. This is including his time as a trainee. G.Soul spent 17 years at JYP Entertainment up until today, which is like 15 years as a trainee. Mainly, okay. So to put a perspective on that, a big chunk of that was he spent a good amount of time just going to school in New York. This is like a little bit going to school, learning music in New York so they can be ready to debut. But he's been spending a lot of time getting ready to enter this industry. So I'm looking forward to what G.Soul could do with a cha-cha beat boy. Good stuff. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. All right. Last but not least. All right, last headline. And mostly just kind of this is a fun thing. So I want to start planning because eventually you and I, Kaz, we're planning on conquering Japan at some point. Or at the very least visiting. We might take a friend or two along with us. And we got to start figuring out plans. So we got to figure out accommodations and things like that. And I think I've already figured out our accommodations. Japanese internet cafe chain evolves into internet hotel, great for backpackers, budget travelers. The Net Room is private rooms with lockable doors, showers, mail delivery service, and online reservations in English. One of the surprising things about the Japanese urban landscape is that even the rapid speed at which smartphones have spread throughout society, you can still find tons of internet cafes. Which is, obviously it's prominent in Japan, it's prominent in Korea. One reason why is that net cafes in Japan provide a little bit more than just internet service. They also stock with massive selections of manga and magazines that patrons can read, for example. But quite often, internet cafes customers in Japan aren't there for the online access to the comics, but because the night in the internet cafe is cheaper than a taxi ride home after the train stops running. There's roughly 5-hour desk space with no rail service. Getting a room at a regular hotel. So with so many already using internet cafes like hotels, Manbu, one of Japan's biggest internet cafe operators, has decided to go one step further and create what is essentially an internet hotel. Instead of semi-private cubicles of other internet cafes, Manbu's new NetRooms sub-brand offers completely private rooms which you can lock with a key when you get up to grab more reading material, use the bathroom. Variety room types are available, but at the very least you'll get a PC with a monitor and a Blu-ray player, giving you access to the internet and a wide selection of free-to-watch movies. There's also free Wi-Fi for those who prefer to do their online browsing and use it in their own devices. The room has a loft, and this room has a loft and offers as much space as many batch pads. Some of them have, like, you can just sleep on the floor. There's shared bathrooms. I think there's shared bathrooms. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's showers and powder rooms on the premises. There's a laundry area. There's lock boxes and mail slots that you can receive mailboxes you can receive mail at. This looks actually really cool. Like the rooms, they have the hourly rate like many of the cafes do, the 100 yen an hour. But you can stay there for an entire day for between 2,100 and 2,400 yen, or weekly use, which runs about 12,500 yen and about 14,000 yen. So like 120 something, $140 between there a week. This sounds like our place, Kaz. It sounds like
I wish places like that existed here. I'd fucking live there.
Oh God. How do you feel? Are you excited to stay at the Net Cafe?
I'd try it. I'm up for anything. I'm an adventurous type.
Yeah.
I have no fear.
Yes. I do like on their website, if you go to their website, the advertisements. Oh, the service is not available.
Everybody's trying to check it out. Like, oh shit. I know where I'm going.
What they had before was they had the website had right on the side. Damn, I guess the website got broke. It was right on the side. It had a advertisement for adult videos and stuff like that, which is funny. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm also eyeing other accommodations, there's another one which is nice, the Nara Juvenile Prison Hotel. It's in Japan in 2020. They're people looking for a unique place to stay. They can get capsule hotels, which you got to stay at a capsule hotel. Private islands, traditional guest houses. There's a new type of accommodation facility that's got everyone talking around the country, as guests will soon be able to stay the night on the grounds of the Nara Juvenile Prison. Built in 1908, the prison complex has been designated an important cultural asset with its unusual design and red brick construction, making it a popular tourist spot for visitors. That goes on. They announced that they're going to have opportunities for creating a hotel, hotel rooms, a hotel service with different accommodations, like loft rooms and like private rooms. You get to see like the really crazy picture that they mocked up with the cell doors lining up the hall, and then a really nice table in the middle.
Like, what the fuck, dude? Yeah, it's crazy.
I don't know. Who knows when we go there, if it's going to take us that long to 2020. But if it does, this is another place I'm I don't know. It depends on the cost, of course.
Yeah, this would probably be way more expensive.
But if it's not too bad, I'd at least want to try it out, just because it's interesting. All right, we got. So, what are some of the things? What are some of the types of accommodations that you want to try out when we go to Japan?
I mean, I'll try a capsule hotel. That's not like too far outreaching. Like the capsule hotels are definitely interesting. Other than that, I don't know. I can't really think of like accommodation wise. Like it's always thinking about stuff you want to go see and experience.
Yeah. Which
I mean, if we also wait till 2020, there's supposed to be the Studio Ghibli amusement park or whatever the fuck it's called.
Yeah. And when they open after they open Super Nintendo World, supposedly I don't know, I put it in a different I think of the DG Welt podcast. The Mario Kart, supposedly rumor is they're going to do a Mario Kart, like a real life Mario Kart.
That's asking for trouble, ladies and gentlemen. I'm gonna let you know now.
I think it's possible. Use with some like augmented reality stuff and automate the cars so that you're mostly driving them. But if you if you run over a banana or you get hit with a shell, like it could like make it spin out.
Yeah, it's possible, but it takes some work.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm excited. Yeah. That being said, now we come to the end of another fantastic episode of Hallyujuku. Kaz, what do you got going on? What else are you excited about? What else are you looking for? What's going on in your world?
If you like sports, I need everyone to go check out Sports Odds and Ends. It's just a fun sports podcast that I do with my good friend Jay Veazey. I don't know. I definitely enjoy it. We've been talking about esports a lot more too, which I love because I wanted to encompass all sports, which is what I've always envisioned. And we're getting there, and I really love it. And with more and more and more like kind of esports pumping to the forefront of things, it's just a great place for me to have an outlet to just not bother other people with it.
Yeah.
When I wanna fucking lament about League or things that are happening in Counter-Strike, or how my fear for Overwatch League not being what it's hyped up to be and causing a rift in esports. So, there's a lot of good shit there. It's a lot of good shit there worth checking out.
So go check it out. SportsOddsandEds.com. He's at King Kaz. I'm at PD Rave. The show is Hallyujuku. That's Hallyujuku.com. Kpoppodcast.com is the other website you can use to share with your friends. Easy to tell other people. Easy to remember. Rebelli.net for this and other shows. Rebelli TV on YouTube and other places. We're on iTunes. We're on Stitcher. We're a bunch of places. Just go subscribe, do the sharing, the thing, and the commenting, and the reviewing, and all of that. Until next time, hasta los huevos.
Give it to me straight, Doctor.
Annyeong. Fighting.
Give it to me straight, Doctor.
I gotta go before everything blows up.
Why, I think you're crazy.